Hello everyone, I'm Sonya Sophia. Welcome to the World Tapping Circle. I'm so happy to have you with us where we get to practice a healing modality called EFT, Emotional Freedom Techniques, where we're tapping on our meridians, stimulating the electrical current of the body, opening up the desktop of our mind, processing old files that have been jammed in our subconscious, creating malfunctions in our personality and in our capacity, editing those documents, resaving them with new information, new program for us to read, new program for us to run off of, self-edited, self-aligning, self-directed, aligning with the flow of love inside of ourselves, which is the key to wisdom itself. So thank you for taking a moment to process that and to be brave. All right, sweethearts. Let me know how you're feeling and where you're logging in from during this session. I'm very excited to say hello to you, and also I want you to know, if you're here in the World Tapping Circle live stream, that we also have hundreds and hundreds of people from around the world sharing this moment with us on Facebook. So hello to all of you logging in on Facebook, wherever you're logging in from. Let us know in the chat where you're logging in from and how you're feeling right now. I'm going to take a moment to give a shout out to a couple of names, and then we're going to get moving with the theme for today, which is learning to love yourself. So while I'm saying hello to some people, be thinking about where you want to aim this session. What aspect of learning to love yourself would you like to point this at and come out the other side feeling a lot more confident, a lot more clean, a lot more clear, a lot more peaceful in yourself? Hi, Adrian in Austin. Hi, Jewel in Prince George, British Columbia, Canada. Emily says, frustrating day today, finding myself getting in my own way of love. Deppy says, hi from India. Nikki says, hi from Oceano. You're on the TV in the living room and the whole family is joining. To you. So that's what I call a tapping party. So whenever anyone uses their membership in the tapping circle to help the people in their lives, to share a live stream or a replay video, I call that a tapping party, and I wholly condone it, because not only does it build community, but it builds intimacy in families, in lovers, in friends, in people who live together, roommates, and people that live together and serve common purposes. So please, please, please do what they're doing. Thank you for leading the way on that one, Nikki. Hi, William. Perfect day for my tap. I'm horrible when it comes to celebrating my birthday. Maybe I can give myself some cake. Happy birthday, William. Maura in Southern California in Long Beach. Samadhi here in Austin. Karen in Idaho. Saying hello to Marianne, also here in Austin. Hi to Christina. Really needing a good tap tonight. Knows they are in the right place. Gregory in California. Joyce in Seattle. Anna in Toronto. Vicky in Poplar Bluff, Missouri. Emily in San Jose. So many beautiful people. I see you, William, in Tokyo. And let's see, so many beautiful, beautiful people. Okay, so let's see. Magnus, maybe you can check my screen. There we go. All right, so today's theme is learning to love yourself. So what I'd like you to do is take a minute and feel into the part of yourself that you have the hardest time loving. Maybe it's the sound of your voice. Maybe it's the way you look. Maybe it's the way you react to a certain kind of person or a certain kind of problem. Think about where you want to aim this session. And remember that as a member of Circle, you're going to have all of these uploaded and you can use the same one again and again. So maybe there's 10 things that you have a really hard time loving about yourself. Maybe even you judge or you hate or you fear. You can gently redirect yourself to use this session on those things and get a bunch of relief. Okay? So don't panic. This doesn't have to be the only time or the first time that you think about these things. You can keep doing this work. All right. Having said that, what we're doing is we're tapping on the meridians with our fingers. We're going down into the basement of the subconscious where these early programs, these early experiences became learned behavior and our truth, our perceptions of reality. They came from all kinds of different people, different environments, different things that we were exposed to, and that became our baseline. And unless we go down and edit that information, it continues to be our perception and our worldview and our view of ourselves. So if you were raised in a less than loving way, or if you had bad experiences with friends, or with loved ones, or with family members, or with organizations like schools or churches, you may have come back from those experiences thinking that there was something wrong with you because you didn't feel the way they expected you to, or you didn't behave the way they expected you to, or you didn't do as well as somebody wanted you to do. And you might have attacked yourself without realizing it, told yourself that you weren't good enough, told yourself that you were bad, that you were ugly, that you were unlovable, that you were unforgivable. And we want to heal that stuff in this session to the best of our ability. So pick an area that you see yourself having issues with. And a good way to do that is say, where is my self-talk? In other words, as I go throughout the day, is there a mean voice in my head that says ugly things to me when I'm trying to do a certain activity? Maybe it's trying to practice your skateboard. Maybe it's making a bed. Maybe it's cooking food. Maybe it's making love. Maybe it's talking to someone. And do you hear yourself criticizing yourself, telling yourself that you should have said something else or that nobody likes you? This is the type of stuff that this session can help you clean up. Okay? So I'm going to send you into the Core Causes survey, the Core Causes questions, a live survey that you can click along and fill in, or you can just watch it on your screen and think about the answers or jot down the answers so that you can get a grip on what's going on inside you. It's going to take 5 minutes and we're going to come out of that and then we're going to do the EFT tapping on whatever answers are there so that you can get the most benefit from this session possible by taking a few minutes to tune in. So into the Core Causes questions you go. I'll see you in 5. All right, sweethearts. Hopefully you got some information from going down into that basement, opening some boxes, looking around and being like, oh, wow, that's weird. That's been going on a long time. That's not even mine. I inherited this. All right, so what to do about it? When I say this issue, as we're going through this tap, you're going to be thinking about this particular section of your life and the things that you've just realized. We're going to take it into the matrix and reprogram reality. Are you ready? Let's go. Finding your collarbones, dropping down from the collarbones to the front of the chest, pressing around in the front of the chest, looking for that tender spot, giving yourself a deep breath. Strong exhalations, especially as emotion moves throughout this session. Especially if you have a lot of strong feelings, you're going to want to make sure that you're breathing deeply with a focus on the exhale. All right, now you're going to be repeating after me, tapping where I tap and saying what I say. Unless something else feels more true, then feel free to edit that statement for yourself. Here we go. Tuning into your issue, repeat after me. Even though there's a part of me that has a hard time loving myself in this area, and then say what area that is for you. Maybe it's your ability to do or be a certain way. I'm open to loving and accepting myself. Tapping the eyebrows. This part of me, tapping the temples, that has a hard time accepting this part of me. Tapping the cheeks. I'm open to loving and accepting myself. Tapping under the nose. Even though it's challenging for me. Tapping under the lips to be with this part of myself. Big deep breath. Tapping the chest. Why is it challenging for you? What comes up for you? Maybe you feel angry at yourself. Maybe you feel sad. Maybe you feel embarrassed. Maybe you feel frustrated with yourself. You see yourself having the same issue or same problem or making the same choices again and again. Tapping the front of the ribs and breathing. Part of me feels, and then say how you feel towards this part of you. Say it again, tapping the side of the rib cage. Part of me feels, maybe you feel mad at yourself. Tapping the inside of the wrist. I'm open to loving and accepting myself, even though I've learned to, and then say what you've learned to do to yourself. Maybe you've learned to make fun of yourself. Maybe you've learned to hide this part of yourself. Maybe you've learned to defend this part of yourself and say, no, I didn't say, I didn't do, I didn't feel that way. And breathe, tapping the side of your thumb. I'm open to loving and accepting myself, tapping the index finger, even if a part of me really struggles with this part of myself. Tap the middle finger and then say what that part of yourself is so that we stay focused on this topic. Tapping the bottom of the fourth finger. I'm open to loving and accepting myself, even though I have learned to hide from this or to judge this part of myself. Tapping the little finger, this judgment. What do you say to yourself when you see yourself behaving this way, or you see yourself unable to do something? Do you tell yourself that you're weak or that you're stupid? Do you tell yourself that you're a failure or that you're not good enough? Tapping the top of the head. I tell myself, and then say what that is for you. Tapping the side of the head, the back of the head, and behind the ears. Say it again. Let's say it 3 times. I tell myself, let's say, I'm dumb. I tell myself, say it 3 times as you tap your head and breathe. Tapping the eyebrows. I'm open to loving and accepting myself. Tapping the temples, even though I've been talking to myself for a long time like this. Tapping the cheeks and breathing. Tapping under the nose. So, let's think about that. How long have you been saying this to yourself? How long has this critical, judgmental, mean voice been in your head attacking you? Tapping the chest. I've been hearing this voice since I was how old? Let's say it out loud. Maybe it was since you were 5 or 6. Maybe it was since you were 15. Maybe it started when you were 21. Tapping the front of the ribs and breathing. Tapping the side of the ribs. This voice in my head that says, and then say that statement, this negative thought that comes up. Say it out loud. What does that statement, that criticism say? Tapping the inside of the wrist. Let's change wrists. I'm open to loving and forgiving myself. Tapping the side of the thumb. Even though there's a mean voice in my head, tap the index finger that says, and then say again what the mean voice says. You're bad, you're stupid, you're wrong, you'll never learn. It's embarrassing. Tap the middle finger. This voice in my head that started when, and then say how old you were. And it's okay if you don't know. It started a long time ago. Tapping the bottom of the 4th finger that I may have picked up, and then say where you picked this up from. Did you hear this growing up from a friend, a relative, a sibling, somebody who raised you? Tapping the little finger. Did you pick it up from watching someone in your environment, the way they behaved towards themselves? Maybe they didn't say it to you, but you heard your mom say it, or you heard your mom act like that was true about herself, and you're like, oh, this is how women are. Tapping the side of the hand and breathing. Tapping the top of the head. I'm open to loving and accepting myself. Tapping the sides of the head. Even though I picked up this thought, say the negative thought out loud. Tapping the eyebrows. I picked up this thought. Tapping the temples. From who? From my mom, from my dad, from my aunt, from my cousins, from the people that raised me. Tapping the cheeks. Big deep breath. Tapping under the nose. I'm open to loving and forgiving myself. Tapping under the lips. I forgive myself for believing this. Tapping the chest and acting like it was true. Tapping the front of the ribs. Big deep breath. So let's go back to when this first started. Maybe there was an event. Maybe you made a mistake. and you were trying to teach yourself a lesson, or you were learning something and you weren't doing it perfectly, and somebody came and judged you and shut you down when you were just experimenting and you were just developing in that tender state. Tap the side of the ribs. So go back in your mind if you can remember, and if you can't remember, you can say, I'm open to healing this from where it began. Tapping the inside of the wrist. I'm open to healing this from, and then say where you think it started, or you can say from when it began. Tapping the side of the thumb. I'm releasing the stress, the fear. Tap the index finger and any remaining, and then say what's there for you. Maybe you have shame. Maybe you have a sense of humiliation. Maybe there's a sense of rage. Tuning in, I'm open to releasing this remaining sense of, and then say what's there for you from that time when this memory, this event started. And if you can't remember, you can say, I'm open to releasing this remaining confusion or fogginess. Tap the middle finger. I forgive myself for attacking myself. Tap the bottom of the fourth finger. Thinking that somehow it would make things better. So just notice what your motivation has been. Why have you been speaking this way to yourself? So let's say that 3 times as you tap the little finger. Why have I been speaking this way to myself in my own mind? Why have I been speaking this way to myself? Why have I been speaking this way to myself? Tapping the side of the hand. Big deep breath. I'm open to loving and forgiving myself. Even though I'm used to talking to myself this way. Tapping the top of the head. So what was the answer when you asked yourself why you've been doing it? Was it to keep yourself from making a mistake like that again? Or was it to make sure that you didn't get too egotistical? Maybe it's just out of habit because that's how people spoke to you. Tapping the temples, tapping the cheeks. Part of me has been believing that thinking this way towards myself, tapping under the nose, is somehow helping me. And then say what you believe it's been helping you do. Tapping under the lips. Ask yourself, is it really true? Is it actually making you a better person to be mean to yourself? Is it actually, tapping down to your chest, preventing you from making a mistake? Or is attacking yourself in the head actually making you feel more shaky, more unsure, more unstable, and more likely to make a mistake? Think about what that younger version of you needed but didn't get. Maybe you needed someone to believe in you, or someone to teach you or to show you, to be patient with you. Tapping the side of the ribs. I'm open to loving and accepting myself. Tapping the inside of the wrist. Even if I didn't get what I needed, tap the side of the thumb, which was what? I needed patience. I needed a good teacher. I needed information. I needed support. I needed love. I needed safety. And breathe. Tuning into what you needed when you were struggling. I'm giving myself the possibility of having, and then say what you want to create for yourself here. I'm giving myself the possibility of being gentle with myself now. Tapping the middle finger, I'm giving myself the possibility of being kind to myself. And breathing, tapping the bottom of the fourth finger, I'm giving myself the possibility of feeling guided, feeling strong, feeling capable. Tapping the little finger. So what would the positive statement be that would be the opposite of the negative statement? For example, if you were telling yourself that you were old, fat, and ugly and no one would ever love you, the positive would be, I am young and beautiful and lovable, or I am lovable as I am. Tapping the top of the head, let's say that positive statement 3 times out loud. Big deep breath. Tapping the eyebrows, big sigh. Tapping the temples. I'm releasing this old voice, tapping the cheeks, that was just trying to protect me. Tapping under the nose to keep me safe. Tapping under the lips. This voice I inherited from my family, from my living situation, from my education. Tapping the chest. I'm releasing this voice and the way it's affected me. So tune into how has that negative voice affected you. Maybe it made you feel insecure. Maybe it made you crave other people's approval. Maybe it made you feel like you had to compensate. Tapping the front of the ribs. So just tune in and see how that voice made you feel and what you did as a result. Tapping the side of the ribs. Whatever you did is your survival strategy, right? If you had to compensate because you felt ugly, you felt unlovable, maybe you decided to be extra friendly or extra funny. Tap the inside of the wrist. I love and accept myself. Tapping the side of the thumb. Even though I've been trying to prove that wasn't true about me. Tap the index finger. That I was capable, that I was lovable, that I was different, that I was what? What were you trying to prove, either by achieving or rebelling? So that's the other thing. Some of us try to prove that it's not the truth, and some of us say, oh yeah? You tell me I'm this? I'm really going to be that. Tap the middle finger. Big deep breath. This part of me that's been, and then say what you think your survival strategy was. Were you trying to prove that it wasn't true? By overachieving, trying too hard, doing things perfectly? Or were you trying to be like, oh yeah, okay, fine. You think I'm bad? I'm going to show you how bad I can be. Big deep breath. Tapping the bottom of your fourth finger. Just accepting for now whatever that negative thought, that experience gave you a feeling, which then gave you a reaction. You either tried to prove it wasn't true, or you tried to show them that, yeah, you're right about me. That's what you think, that's what you get. Tap the little finger and just relaxing. This is a normal thing that we all do until we don't. So tapping the side of the hand. I love and accept myself. I allow myself to see that I'm just someone who's learning and growing and trying to live a good life. Tap the top of the head. I'm open to forgiving myself for reacting to this painful thought. Tap the eyebrows. Tapping the temples. I give myself permission to heal what happened. So this is where you're going to be able to tap under the nose and think about what happened that gave you these negative thoughts and what you decided was true about you or true about your ability. Tapping the chest, and you get a whole minute to just discuss it. So tap your chest and say, for example, okay, my parents had a fight, or my parents got divorced, or my sister said this to me, and just tell the story as you tap your chest from where you think this old thought, this mean thought came from. Tapping down to the front of the ribs. Keep talking and tapping. And tap the side of the ribs. I'm releasing this from my body. Big deep breath. Tapping the inside of the wrist. I give myself permission to release, to let go of the strain and the stress that's been in my body. Tap the side of the thumb. It's been in my mind. Tapping the index finger. It's possible that my life matters. Tap the middle finger. It's possible that my life matters. Tap the bottom of the fourth finger. That I deserve to feel happy. That I deserve to feel good. And breathe. Tapping the little finger. I give myself permission to bring love to this part of myself. Tap the side of the hand and say what part of yourself you want to bring love to. I'm bringing love. Stay with me. I'm bringing love to what? What part of yourself? Tapping the top of the head. I'm making space for this love to grow inside me. Tapping the eyebrows. To heal what happened. Tapping the temples. I deserve to feel supported, to feel worthy. Tapping the cheeks. And breathing. Tapping under the nose. I give myself permission to feel worthy of this love. Tapping under the lips. What would it be like to feel worthy of this love? Tapping the chest. What would it be like to feel worthy of my own love and acceptance? Tapping the front of the ribs. So just think about that for a minute. I know it might be a stretch to feel worthy of your own love and acceptance, your own self-respect, your own admiration. But the more you can give yourself that gentle, loving, respectful attention, the more others will automatically feel you and perceive you and interact with you that way. Right? If I have a part of me that feels ugly, that feels awful. I want to hide it. People are going to sense that fear. They're going to come and push and poke, or they're going to be afraid. And that's going to create a weirdness for me because it will validate my own fear. But when I take my time and go inside and say, okay, this is the thing that feels scary. This is the self-judgment I have. This is the criticism I have. And I process the pain and the scariness, the shame, the humiliation, the fear. Nobody can hurt me there anymore. As a matter of fact, that self-love will heal up that old place, and people will interact with me in a loving, kind, and supportive way, because that's what feels normal to me, right? So tapping the index finger, this is what we're doing. What would it feel like to be worthy of your own admiration and self-respect, your own respect? The same way that you would look at someone else with admiration that you really admired. You're like, yeah, you're cool. I like you. Tap the middle finger, big deep breath, sending yourself so much compassion for that awkward feeling. Giving yourself a drink of this feeling of love and respect. You know what this person has been through. You know how long they've struggled. You know the story. You know what happened. You know how alone they felt or how dark it was. Tap the bottom of the fourth finger, and here they are. Here they are, growing and evolving, changing, offering that fear up again and again. Tapping the little finger, looking at yourself for a minute and saying, I respect you. I respect you. Tap the side of the hand. I understand what you've been through. Tapping the top of the head. I give myself permission to be with this part of myself in a kind way. Tapping the side of the head and the back of the head. Tapping the eyebrows. I allow my own love in. Tapping the cheeks. I'm making space for my own love. Big deep breath. And I want you to imagine tuning in to this part of your body or this part of your life or this part of your relationships and giving yourself so much compassion and kindness. Letting your body receive that love the way that you've been craving to receive it. Letting yourself feel this endless source of love flowing through this area of your life, this area of your body. And breathe. Tapping the front of the ribs. I give myself permission to relax, to regain my peace. Tap the side of the ribs. To remember who I really am. Tap the inside of the wrist. I give myself permission to recover my energy now. Tap the side of the thumb, especially from, and then say what you're taking your energy back from. Maybe it's from someone who hurt you. Maybe it's from a situation that was painful to remember. I'm taking my energy back now. Releasing them, releasing the past, releasing it from every cell in my body. Tap the middle finger. I have full permission to return in a loving way to myself, Tap the bottom of the fourth finger. I'm open to loving and forgiving myself for holding on to this for as long as I have. Big deep breath and just send a huge wave of forgiveness to yourself for holding on to it out of fear, holding on to it out of spite, holding on to it because you didn't know what else to do or how else to be. Tap the little finger and breathe. This part of me that got stuck, tap this side of the hand. I've come back for you. I'm receiving the help that I've been waiting for. Tapping the top of the head. I'm allowing this to release completely so that I can be my true self. Tapping the side of the head and the back of the head, and think about what that true self would feel like and be like if this part of you was healed. What would that be like? Take a minute and describe it. If this part of me were completely healed, I would what? I'm tapping under the nose, and then I would feel how? Tapping under the lips. And I would be able to do what? Tapping the chest and breathing. And all of this would allow me to then feel what about myself? Would it allow you to feel proud? To feel at peace? To feel confident? To feel attractive? To feel powerful? To feel like you knew yourself and you trusted yourself? To feel alive? Tapping the front of the ribs. I deserve to feel alive. Tap the side of the ribs. I deserve to heal. Tap the inside of the wrist. I have suffered long enough. I'm releasing any remaining stress. Tap the side of the thumb. Fear or trauma. Big deep breath. Tapping the index finger. It's safe for me to do this. Tapping the middle finger. Giving myself the ability to grow far beyond this old limitation. Tap the bottom of the fourth finger. Now, we asked you a little earlier to come up with a positive statement that was the opposite of this limiting belief. Maybe there's several new positive statements you want to give yourself. This is a good moment to write them down or to stand up and say them like you mean them. Tapping the side of the hand. What is it that you want to reprogram yourself to remember is true about you? It could be feeling very new. It could be feeling very tenuous. Like, I just want to be able to feel this. Or maybe you're just like, oh, heck yeah. I'm going to repeat this until it's normal for me to accept this as new. This new thing is true. Tapping the top of the head. So say your positive statement or statements as you tap the top of your head. I allow myself to now know what? Tap the eyebrows. And to remember, what do you want to remember is true about you? Tapping the temple. And breathe. Tapping the front of the cheeks. I'm as worthy as any baby ever born. I came here from the great beyond, tapping under the lips. And this is my place in time, tapping the chest. I'm collecting my love and my power so that I can feel joy, peace, connection, and love. Tapping the front of the ribs. I'm allowed to feel joy, peace, connection, and love. This helps me give my gifts to the world. Tap the inside of the wrist. This helps me bring what I came here to bring. Tap the side of the thumb. I give myself the possibility of getting very good at loving myself, especially in, and say this area of your body or your life that you're working on. In how I look or how I feel or how I behave. Tap the index finger. I forgive myself for any remaining fear or grief around this part of myself. Tap the middle finger, and however it's affected my life. And just send out a huge wave of mercy for how holding on to this pain has affected your life and the people in your life. Tapping the bottom of the fourth finger. I'm letting love in. I'm letting love in. I'm letting love in. Tapping the little finger. Big deep breath. Stay with me. We're almost done. How good can you stand it? Tap the side of your hand. So let's imagine that you've forgiven the people who led you to believe that you were somehow less than or unworthy or incapable. That your body and your mind has recovered. That your heart is glowing. That you're feeling your energy come back. That you're feeling vital and alive and electric. Tapping the top of the head. How is this influencing your life and the people in your life? What happens as a result of this? How does it affect the way you work or the way you create or the way you connect with the people that you love in a familial way or an intimate way? It feels good. Tapping the temples. It feels strong. Tap the cheeks. It allows me to be kinder. I don't have to prove anything to anyone. It allows me to have patience, to feel open, and to feel happy to be in my body. Tap the front of the ribs. I give myself permission to allow myself to practice loving myself again and again and again. Tapping the inside of the wrist, because this allows me to flow and move forward. Tapping the side of the thumb, healing any remaining resistance to this love. Big deep breath. I want you to breathe in this beautiful light that you see surrounding into your body, imagining it touching any place that still feels shy or afraid. Any place that still feels a little dark or heavy. Just being with it without pressuring it, without judging it. Just be there with it. Bringing this beautiful light to wherever the pain has been. Tapping the middle finger. I am learning to love myself. Tapping the bottom of the fourth finger, I am learning to fully love myself. Tapping all over the body. Tell yourself 3 loving statements out loud. Say it out loud like you really mean it. I'm getting good at this. This is easier than I thought it would be. I'm allowing this to actually be fun, to be a normal part of my day, to think loving thoughts to myself. And just notice how you're feeling. So just tapping your chest and listening for a minute. So the better you get at bringing love into the places that were contracted or shut down or ashamed, the faster you will heal. You can't force the love, but you can touch the place of pain with love. And the love itself creates safety, and that safety creates healing. And an energetic and an emotional and a physical release that affects the way the body works, that affects the way the mind works, which changes conversations, which changes the way you handle the world and the way the world offers you opportunity, right? So our goal is to get as good as we can at quickly noticing when our thoughts have turned against us and bringing love and saying, oh, sweet self, oh, sweet self, oh, sweet self, it's okay. So you want to learn to be your best friend. You want to learn to release criticism, sarcasm, and start talking to yourself like you were your very best friend, because that will actually give you the strength and the energy that you need. The same way that if you were talking to a child, if you were constantly criticizing, putting down and yelling at a kid, how well do you think they'd do at anything? Okay, I think you get the point. But if you are loving and supportive and patient and kind, that child will do very well. And a lot of us are reparenting ourselves just from the world, just from the way the world has treated us, okay? So thank you for taking a minute to experiment with transitioning that inner voice to a more loving voice. I did a whole circle on allowing love in last week. So if this is a hot topic for you and you want more, there's already a beautiful circle similar to this one that is uploaded at worldtappingcircle.com. If you're watching live on Facebook and just trying this out, you are in for a treat. Join us in Circle. We are here every week. You'll have access to hundreds of these videos that are already done. You could be whipping this stuff through your nervous system, cleaning it up, cleaning it up, cleaning it up, and getting on with your good self. Feeling really good, feeling stable and strong. So please come join us. The link is in the Facebook live stream. You'll see it there. And we'll put it in the chat for you. worldtappingcircle.com/unify. So that's to thank Unify for hosting us on this amazing moment to talk to the whole world. 2 more things. This circle is run by donation and by subscription. So if you're not sure you want to jump into Circle and commit to all of $4 a week, and you just want to donate and you want to say, man, this rocked my world, please donate. We're going to go ahead and put that button up here at worldtappingcircle.com, and we're going to drop it in the Facebook live stream comments. So if this blew your mind and opened you up and you want to throw something our way, that gives us the ability to pay our staff living wages and to keep the lights on and to keep broadcasting this circle to you live every week, as we have done for 7 years. Broadcasting to say we're here to help make this world a better place, because we know that as people heal, the world heals. As we free ourselves, the world will follow. The last thing I want to say to you, besides join us in the tapping circle every week, is that I love you. And I want to leave you with a song I heard this week when I went to dance. I go to the ecstatic dance on Sundays, and that's where I do a lot of tapping and processing and healing and meditating and praying. And this song just blew my heart wide open. The song is called Love Is Not in Your Mind. It's by Paul Winter Consort. You'll find him on Spotify. Thank you for your love, for your time and attention. If you want to learn more about me, my website is sonyasophia.us. I do trainings. I help teach people how to do this. So thank you again for your loving time and attention. I look forward to seeing you in the circle.
Her kirkin her kan papu mirki babun merdir can mebudur canından papu ey dur diri can mirki babun merdur can mebudur canından papu her kurkarun her kirkir can her kirkir merdur canından papu dur canından. Her kan papu mirki babun merdur can mebudur canından papu ey dur diri can mirki babun merdur can mebudur canından papu her kurkarun her kirkir can her kirkir